If we're gonna talk about habit, what's the thing that comes up in your mind? Yup, some activities, right? Some people have a sleep schedule at 9 p.m. and a breakfast at 7 a.m. because at 8 o'clock in the morning they have to go to work. And for that they have wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get enough rest and an important breakfast. Then, when our body and mind keep repeating the same thing every time, is it a habit? What is habit? And is it important to create some positive habits so that we can be more productive? We have habit. One likely reason human are creatures of habit is that habits are efficient. People can perform useful behaviors without wasting time and energy deliberating about what to do. However, this tendency toward quick and efficient responses can backfire, as when it gets hijacked by the use of addictive drugs or consumption of unhealthy food. In addition, it is certain that building a positive habit is important, not only positive, but effective, so that the results can last for a long run. But how do we build effective habits? One of the most compelling books ever written, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen R. Covey, has empowered and inspired readers for over 30 years. It's also played a part in the transformation of millions of lives across all age groups and professions. So, what are the 7 habits of highly effective people? We may involve a variety of things in life, such as emotions, behaviors, circumstances, people reactions, and etc. David goes to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was raining, and he felt that the weather that day could not make him enthusiastic about his work. His clothes will get wet, his shoes will get wet, and that will affect the meeting he has to run this morning. So he planned to blame the rain if the meeting didn't go well. Habit 1. Be proactive. Be proactive is about taking responsibility for your life. Proactive people recognize that they are responsible. They don't blame circumstances, conditions, or conditioning for their behavior. They know they can choose their behavior. Reactive people, on the other hand, are often affected by their physical environment. They find external sources to blame for their behavior. If the weather is good, they feel good. If it isn't, it affects their attitude and performance, and they blame the weather. External forces influence us, but our greatest power lies in choosing our responses. This choice exists between stimuli and reactions. A key aspect of this is our language, which reflects our self-perception. A proactive person uses proactive language: I can, I will, I prefer, etc. A reactive person uses reactive language: I can't, I have to, if only. Reactive people believe they are not responsible for what they say and do. They have no choice. They usually work on the things they can do something about, not to their concern. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. Dr. Stephen R. Covey. What you want to become in the future. What do you have to say about yourself? Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind is based on imagination. The ability to envision in your mind what you cannot at present see with your eyes. It is based on the principle that all things are created twice. There is a mental first creation and a physical second creation. The physical creation follows the mental, just as a building follows a blueprint. If you don't make a conscious effort to visualize who you are and what you want in life, then you empower other people and circumstances to shape you and your life by default. It's about connecting again with your uniqueness, and then defining the personal, moral, and ethical guidelines within which you can most happily express and fulfill yourself. Puts your goals in focus, and moves your ideas into the real world. Your mission statement makes you the leader of your own life. You create your destiny and secure the future you envision. People are working harder than ever, but because they lack clarity and vision, they aren't getting very far. They, in essence, are pushing a rope with all of their might. Dr. Stephen R. Covey. Now, what are the most important things to you? In your mind, you may imagine the face of your father or mother, then a fully fledged and structured career. Or it could be good grades and graduate from college with abundant achievements. What now appears in your mind sometimes often contradicts with what you often do. How far have you come to achieve those things? Have you thought about how to get good grades? Or think about how to make your family relationships more harmonious? Habit 3. Put first things first. It is the exercise of independent, that will toward becoming principle-centered. Habit 3 is the practical fulfillment of habits 1 and 2. Habit 3 is about life management as well, your purpose, values, roles, and priorities. What are first things? First things are those things you find of most worth. If you put first things first, you are organizing and managing time and events according to the personal priorities you established. In this world, where others may fight for share of a pie, you bakes more pies. Habit number 4, think win-win. Think win-win isn't about being nice, nor is it a quick fix technique. It is a character-based code for human interaction and collaboration. Most of us learn to base our self-worth on comparisons and competition. We think about succeeding in terms of someone else failing. If I win, you lose. Or if you win, I lose. Life becomes a zero-sum game. There is only so much pie to go around. And if you get a big piece, there is less for me. It's not fair. And I'm going to make sure you don't get any more. To go for win-win, you not only have to be empathic, but you also have to be confident. In the long run, if it isn't a win for both of us, we both lose. That's why win-win is the only real alternative in interdependent realities. Dr. Stephen R. Covey. Have you ever wondered how many people have asked you for help just to listen to the story they are going through? And have you ever thought about why most people tell some stories just to be heard and understood? Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Communication is the most important skill in life. You spend years learning how to read, write, and speak, but what about listening? What training have you had that enables you to listen? So you really, deeply understand another human being? Probably none, right? If you're like most people, you probably seek first to be understood. You want to get your point across. In doing so, you may ignore the other person completely. Pretend that you're listening. Selectively hear only certain parts of the conversation, or attentively focus on only the words being said, but miss the meaning entirely. So why does this happen? Because most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. You listen to yourself as you prepare in your mind what you are going to say, the questions you are going to ask, etc. You filter everything you hear through your life experiences, your frame of reference. In some situations, autobiographical responses may be appropriate, such as when another person specifically asks for help from your point of view, or when there is already a very high level of trust in the relationship. You see, there is a mango tree whose fruit is very dense. You try to take some of the mangoes, but within 1 hour you can only get 3 mangoes. Meanwhile, if you invite just 1 or more people to take the mango together, maybe within 1 hour there are already about 20 mangoes that can be taken from the tree. Habit 6, synergize. To put it simply, synergy means two heads are better than one. Together, they can produce far better results than they could individually. Synergy lets us discover jointly things we are much less likely to discover by ourselves. It is the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. 1 plus 1 equals 3, or 6, or 60. Synergy is not the same as compromise. In a compromise, 1 plus 1 equals 1.5 at best. Dr. Stephen R. Covey. Habit 7, sharpen the saw. This habit is about taking time for self-renewal and investing in ourselves. It emphasizes cultivating the critical assets that we have in ourselves. The habit is about taking care of ourselves by eating right, exercising, getting enough sleep, spending time with family and friends, learning in different ways, finding meaningful ways to help others, and having a balanced program for self-renewal in the 4 areas of our lives: physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual. By understanding and implementing these principles into your daily life, you're setting yourself on a path towards personal and professional growth. Remember, effectiveness is not just a destination but a continuous journey of self-improvement. Embrace these habits as guiding lights, shaping your interactions, decisions, and pursuits, whether in your relationships, work, or personal aspiration. The 7 habits offer a roadmap to lead a life of purpose and impact. So go ahead, step into your empowered self, and make these habits a part of your daily existence.